welcome to my studio. I'm Naomi from Pigeon Art, and today I'm going to be showing you how I assembled my flowers to make a bouquet. So if you haven't seen all my past videos in this series, go back, have a look. I show you how I make the paper flowers, how I make these knitted poppies, and how I made these knitted rose flowers. Today we're showing you how I attached each of these flowers to the wire, how I added some buttons. You don't have to do the button bit if you don't like it. I will be showing you how we put them together, and for that you're going to need a buddy, so see if you can find a friend who can help you. When I was making these, I had my bridesmaid help me make them. One very important disclaimer that I need to make right now is these are not bouquets you're gonna throw. Very dangerous. As you can see, the wires are really hard and you could really hurt somebody. So please, if you're planning on throwing the bouquet, have one that you made out of real flowers. Just please don't throw this bouquet. For one, it's really fragile, and for two, it's very dangerous. For this part of the video, you'll need wood glue, buttons if you're attaching them, pliers, I recommend the ones on the right, your flowers that you've already made, and some fencing wire. Start by cutting out the fencing wire. I recommend cutting more than you think you need because you can always cut it, but you can't add more. Do what you can to straighten it out. It doesn't matter if it's not super straight because you will be bending it more when you add it to your bouquet, but do what you can. So now we're working on the paper flowers. We're basically going to want to roughen up the wire so that it sticks to the glue and the flower better. So you're using the cutting part of the pliers to roughen up that edge. I found dipping the wire straight into the wood glue and then putting it into the gap in the flower, it was the best way to go about it. Once you've done that, don't touch it. Put it down, leave it for a few hours, maybe come back tomorrow. You just want that wood glue to dry as well as possible. Now moving on to the knitted flowers. Both types of flowers will be done the same way, so I'll only show you on the one. So straighten it and cut it to size. Now I'm going to use the end of these pliers, and that's why I wanted to recommend you use this type of plier to turn your wire into a spiral, sort of like a spring. I tried many ways of attaching these, and this was definitely the best way. Once you have your spiral, you can attach it to your flower. The first time your wire goes around in the flower, you need it to pick up a couple of stitches, come out, then pick up another couple of stitches. And on the second pass, you want to make sure you do have two passes. It should end up sliding through more easily. So it's now on, and it's not really going anywhere, but just to make sure, you want to flatten out those spirals, and that should hold the knitted flower there indefinitely. And now onto the buttons. Pick the flowers with the flattest faces to add the buttons to. Add some wood glue to both the button and the face of the flower, and then put aside while it sets. While you're assembling the bouquets, you'll need twine, pliers, a cable tie, the flowers you've made, and some sort of greenery if you want it. You have to decide first what kind of shape you want your bouquets to be.
With my bridesmaids ones, it was all about getting that dome shape for us. With my bridal one, we wanted some of that waterfall look. You're gonna get most of the shape from the paper flowers just because they've got that flat sort of front to them. Now that you have your flowers, I highly recommend getting a second person to help you. They hold it while you add, and then as you're adding, you can bend the wire so that you get the, and like we talked about, the shape that you're after. And so that these are facing the right way. Maybe put one underneath here like that to hold them there. This one's been through the wars. With these floppy ones, you can use the paper ones to really hold them in place. See what I'm doing? I'm bending them a little bit as I go. Alright, let's say this is how I want it to be. Don't ever let go until you've put that cable tie and you have tightened it as far as it will go. You want a clear one rather than a black one, because if you don't manage to cover it up completely, like I couldn't with my big one, you really want it to not stand out. Okay, see how I've done this? It's very tight. I'm just going to tighten it as much more, a little bit more, a couple notch. Next thing is to just get rid of all this extra foliage. You've got two options with the leaves. You can either pre-dry them, so hang them upside down for a couple of weeks before you make the bouquet, or you can do what I did, which was assembled the bouquet and then I hung them upside down from the curtains for a couple of weeks afterwards. I'll insert a photo there so you can see what I'm talking about. Either way is fine. Give that a snip. You can use your pliers if you need to, side cutters if you have some. Give yourself enough room for a handle about there. So this is my guide. Even though this is my guide, like I was just saying, the wood one, wood isn't dangerous. So I'm not going to be trying to bend that one back. So what you want to do is make sure you give yourself a little bit more room. So this one's now my guide for the metal ones. By the end of this, you will end up hating this wire. I've had it flick back and hit me in the eye, or very close to the eye. I've had it stab me. Okay, so now this is really scary and dangerous. So what I would do is, I've half done one there, bend it backwards, and so that it's a nice soft edge. So I'll keep doing it. See this one? It's no longer dangerous. I mean, in my eyes. So you want to do that to all of them. Okay, so they're all like that now. And now that we're going to be covering, oh my god, it's moved so much. Make sure every time you rearrange, make sure you're happy with where it's sitting, because it will move while you're doing it. Don't do what I did and squash your flower while you're doing it. So yeah, just keep rearranging as you go, because it will move some more. And like, I just tightened it more, the cable tie. I thought it was as tight as it was going to get, and it's moved while I was doing it, and now I can tighten it again. So really, this is why you want two people. One person can really double check that nothing's getting squashed or moved and up too much while the other person works. Recut the cable tie. We're going to start at the top, work our way down, work our way back up, work our way back down. It's going to take a while. And you want to try and cover that cable tie. And then you're going to go down and back up. You need to make sure you're covering all of these so that these bits that are bent back on itself won't hurt anybody who might be holding it or picking it up for whatever reason. If you've got bits like that sticking out, because I just had to attach it to another piece, that's fine because you're going to go over it anyway. And basically, I'm not going to have enough to do this, but you want to just cover it so that it's comfortable in the hand. I mean, people are going to be holding, your bridesmaids are going to be holding this, and flower girls maybe will be holding this for a very long time during the ceremony. So you might as well, you know, make sure they're not holding wires. So here we go. See, I've covered this. Just keep going. If you're worried, this one I did a very good job at going to the end, but with my big one, I actually used some hot glue and stuck it in there. Just because there were so many, it was too hard to try and bend all of them back. I'm not gonna lie, it's still pretty dangerous. I'm gonna stop here. That's not properly done, but you understand the gist. So now that you're done, just give it a final, you know, check on it. If you're at all worried, you can keep tightening it up here. Once you're happy with it, if you have the leaves on it, like I said, just get another piece of twine and hang it upside down. What you need to do, depending on when your wedding is, I kept these in a cardboard box, sitting up in their vases that I'd made for them, like Exhibit A and B, because these are going to get dusty. I mean, if your wedding is in a couple of months, I wouldn't worry. But if your wedding is in a year, and I actually had, it was like a year and a half by the time I'd made these before my wedding because of COVID, so it was over a year and a half, I think. I definitely wanted to keep them out of the dust. These don't have to be bouquets. I just had them loose in vases around the place, so you know, you don't have to make them into bouquets, and then your bouquets don't have to be huge like my one was, you know. My biggest piece of advice right now is just find someone who can help you make these, because you can make something just so much better when you've got another person there holding really tight. So you've got one person holding, and as you add something, you swap hands. And it's really hard not to make it move. Just prepare yourself for some time. Patience is good. And I mean, don't be hard on yourself. If it doesn't stay while you're adding another one, you know, the other person who's adding the flowers can rearrange them again. So it's not your fault, and you know, you're doing a good job. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope it was helpful with your wedding planning. To all the brides and grooms out there, soon to be, good luck. I hope it goes really well. Please send me on my Instagram a photo if you do follow my tutorials of your wedding bouquets. I would love to see them. If you'd like to see more budget wedding decorations, rustic of course, because that's what I made, please let me know and I will happily make some more videos.